Hi guys, I wanted to do a quick video. JK posted a question about the line that is on the tank's lip, and what that could possibly mean because it's obviously not fully drawn. You can see it kind of starts around here. So I'm just going to play it a little bit more. Now, what I think it may represent, this is just interpretation, open to interpretation. So I think it might represent mumps. There's 13 of these teeth, and I believe that the smallest one, which is kind of like just just included, kind of like half covered, is December, and then we've got January, February, and March, and it appears that the line starts at March or at the end of March, something to do with March, and it extends all the way through April, May, June, July, August, September, and December. August, September, October, November, and December. Sorry, missing out 3 months there. In the middle of all that, we have the pyramid with the all-seeing eye pyramid cap on top. It appears that when the line starts here, that may be in relation to the green light, which is obviously go time kind of symbol. And then we've got this shadow which covers half of this pyramid here. But we commonly know that that symbol is a symbol used by the Illuminati. And the Illuminati, as I mentioned before, is all about bringing out the Antichrist and the Luciferian doctrine, the one world order, the one world religion, and all that kind of stuff. And they want to bring chaos, order out of chaos is what they want to bring. So chaos is what they bring first, and then they bring order out of that. This is the image that they've got on the dollar bill, so it's important enough for them to encode on the money. And with the money, we know that encoded on there is destruction of different areas, such as the Hoover Dam, New York, and other places also are depicted. Can't remember them all right now. So if this interpretation that these teeth may represent mumps, if and it's not out of the ordinary because we believe that the children in the classroom, the grey figures represent mumps. The windows outside of the classroom could represent mumps as well. So these teeth, they could also represent mumps, including December down here. So I'm just going to work off of that basis. I'm not saying it is, but this is just an idea. June, if this is June, and they're suggesting that it has something to do with their Illuminati plans, then this whole video is about bringing out the Antichrist. So they may be pointing us to June for when that may happen. If we look at June, at the start of June, the sun rises in the constellation of Taurus. At the end of June, the sun rises in the constellation of Gemini. However, due to the precession of the equinoxes, June begins with the sun in the astrological sign of Gemini and ends with the sun in the sign of Cancer. So it begins in the sign of Gemini. When we look up Gemini, we can see that it's the name in Latin for twins, and it is associated with the twins Castor and Pollux in Greek mythology. So again, we're going back to Greek mythology here. They've got Greek mythology, Roman mythology, Egyptian mythology, Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Africans and Asians, and they have taken the world and history, culture, religion, everything, and put it into this coded video, and that is how it has multiple layers of meaning. It's a work in progress. I feel like we're breaking it down as we develop new ideas. Some of the older ideas that we thought of, they kind of get pushed out of the equation, and it's a trial and error process. So, and it's helped along with the comments as well, because a lot of people out there don't make videos of their own, but they do comment on the videos that are made, and those comments often help in breaking kind of videos. So, again, just an offer of appreciation to you guys for helping with the process. So when we look at Castor and Pollux, we can see that they were transformed into the constellation Gemini. The pair were regarded as the patrons of sailors, who to whom they appeared as St. Elmo's fire. Now, when we look up St. Elmo's fire, one of the descriptions given by Charles Darwin when he saw it was everything is in flames, the sky with lightning, and it's often depicted as kind of like this bluish violet kind of glow is given off. I don't really fully understand it. If you'd like to explore that topic a bit more, you can type in St. Elmo's fire on Wikipedia and do a bit of research there. But what I want to do is compare that to what we see in the iPet Goat video when the Antichrist is coming forth. What I believe is this is obviously a depiction of stars. It looks like a depiction of space, and I don't know if this is could be depicting the constellation Gemini. I am not an astronomer, so I don't know what I'm looking for there. If any of you do have a hand in astronomy, then you may be able to tell us whether this could be depicting Gemini. This figure comes through on the Anubis boat, on the Anubis boat of death, which is from Egyptian mythology, and breathes out this fire, which I think is representing Elmo's fire. When it catches onto this bulb-like structure, it begins to glow, and it's a bluish kind of tint, which is in association with Elmo's fire. Not only that, but you've got the Gemini twins in the background, and you've got the lightning there, plus this illuminated figure. So that all says to me, you know, the Gemini twins, the Elmo fire, June, constellation of Gemini, is when they plan to bring this Antichrist figure out from wherever he is at the moment, wish he'd stay there. And that's all connected to the tanks, where I think the teeth are representing months, and December's included, but just barely. And June shows the Illuminati kind of symbol for the Antichrist and their illumination, their Luciferian doctrine. Again, I don't know if that's a correct interpretation, but considering the links to Greek mythology that have already been discovered in this video, I think it is a possible interpretation, especially when he blows out that fire and it goes over that bulb-like structure, and then it begins to glow. His head comes in the way, then it gets a more blue kind of violet glow, and that's exactly the color of St. Elmo's fire. And it's also associated with lightning. If you read the Wikipedia page, you'll see that there. And that's all associated with Gemini, which is associated with June. So that's just my line of thinking there. You know, you may agree, you may not agree. All comments are welcome. On a completely different but related subject, I just wanted to quickly cover a little bit of this Beyonce, because when I thought of Gemini twins, I remember that she had the Gemini twins as part of her stage at the Super Bowl. And, you know, a lot of people saying that she was possessed, and obviously she's already kind of confessed to the fact that she gets possessed. She says she has this, you know, something comes into her and she just changes into a different person. She doesn't know what she's doing. This Sasha Fierce takes over. And, you know, she had these Gemini twins at the Super Bowl, and then she actually had twins, and they are Gemini twins. Their star sign is Gemini, and I'm just thinking that, boom, my mind is blown. How can you have representation of Gemini twins years before you actually have Gemini twins? So that just let me know, if I didn't know already, that this woman, I wanted to use another word, but I'm just going to say this woman is definitely a high level Illuminati person. And when you look at the crown that she's wearing, this illumination kind of like type crown, that is completely just in relation to, again, this video. Sorry, 1 second. We've got the, you know, the Illuminati kind of illuminated figure up on above the chalkboard there. I'm going to see if it actually goes onto it in a second. Like it's just teasing that. Yeah, here I am, but I'm not going to show you the full figure. Let's go back a bit. Okay, gotta do that. Excuse me, guys. It's difficult to try and pause it on exactly the right spot you want. Come on. Alright. I'm just going to let the video play a little bit while I talk and see if it pops up. So basically, I believe that you know, she's definitely a high up level, high up in the Illuminati levels, and she's using images. That you can see it in the background there. There it is. So yeah, that's basically the same kind of crown that she's wearing on her head when she was doing this performance, and then she's got the other relations to these kind of, you know, the Gemini, and she does the 666 hand sign down here as well. So yeah, she's definitely linked in, and she's married to someone else who's linked in, which is Jay-Z. And when this preacher, he played Lucifer backwards to this audience here, and when I heard it the first time, it was a while ago, but when I heard it the first time, it sent chills down my spine. And when I listened to it again today, I felt like my blood go cold. It was just so in your face. Like, these people are placed in such high levels, like, you know, top of the rap game, top of the music game, top of politicians and everything, you know, and it just goes to show that the Bible is, you know, full of truth. And our battle is definitely not with flesh and blood. It's definitely with spirits and wickedness in high places. And they're well positioned because they've been planning this out for years, while the rest of us have been walking in sleep. You know, we've just been sleepwalking for all these years. And now I feel like there's a great awakening, but it's still not enough. There's still not enough people. There's still too many people out there who are sleeping, and we need to wake them up. You know, slap them, wake them up. Because if this stuff is coming to a head, it's soon going to be too late to do anything about it. So, you know, I encourage people to spread the word.
Murder, murder, Jesus.
Now, even with the backtrack kind of interference playing from the instruments, you can hear clearly what he said. Murder, murder, Jesus, 666. This is just completely unbelievable. And the fact that he's still successful, you know, people know about this. This video itself has, you know, 1.5 million views. The fact that so many people know about it and he's still successful just goes to show how powerful they are. And the fact is, without Jesus, there is no way you're gonna be able to survive what's coming. And I don't mean survive as in life or death. I mean, you know, survive as in your soul when it comes to, you know, the real life or death. That's what we're fighting for. We're fighting for our souls here. They're fighting on the side of Satan, trying to draw as many souls to him as possible. And they'll do that through subliminal messaging, through music, through normalizing things, you know, putting it under the guise of political correctness or accepting your fellow human being. But that's not what it's about. It's completely about just taking your soul, bringing you away from the word of God. If God said something is not to be done, guaranteed eventually they'll be saying it's acceptable to do it, as long as, you know, trying to make it seem normal when it's really, really not. The other thing I want to point out is the Empire State of Mind lyrics. There's a few lines in here that just kind of screamed out to me. The sidelines is lined with casualties who sip life casualty, then gradually become worse. Don't bite the apple, Eve. And obviously, that's not just in relation to some sort of event that leaves the sidewalk lined with casualties, and also when I think about the iPad Goat video, the whole scene with the girl who we believe represents Eve and Alice in Wonderland at the same time, she doesn't bite the apple. And if she does represent Eve, we know that Eve bit the apple, but this girl doesn't appear to do so. And I just don't know if they have some sort of belief or code where it's a unbitten apple that they use to symbolize something. I'm not in with them, so I don't know what that reference is, but it's said here and it's represented in the video. And I kind of just wanted to link the two together to show you how widespread they are. in terms of how they deliver their different messages. And you get down a little bit further, and you've got Hail Mary to the city, you're a virgin, and Jesus can't save you. Life starts when the church ends. And obviously, in their belief, their whole system, their whole life, and everything else starts when the Antichrist comes out. And in this video, Antichrist does come out. We see the crumbling, the destruction of the church in the background. But I just wanted to put one message out there at the end of the day. The church is not a building. The church is the people. And as long as we stay true to God and remain steadfast in Jesus Christ, we cannot be destroyed. Our lives, our souls will be saved. So, where there might be fear and consternation when seeing things like this and the possible interpretations suggesting that there may be some real life event that causes mass casualties, I say to the true believers out there, there's no need to worry. If you're not a true believer and you're wavering on the line, like sometimes I do, I feel like I need to do better, and I think that's something that we can all, relate to. We have this idea of what we want to be, and sometimes we don't live up to it, and it's disappointing in some aspects. But we just have to keep striving and keep praying, because I find that when you pray, especially when you've got temptations or anything like that going on, the whole process of connecting or trying to connect with God often pushes those temptations to the side and they become less strong. So, I definitely recommend prayer as a way of getting close to God and getting further away from the demons and the temptations that they bring. The last thing I just wanted to point out is in relation to the submarines, which JK was talking about. I just wanted to point out that the vessels, they can remain underwater from a few hours to months. This particular vessel can be submerged for 6 months, and it's the Russian Typhoon class, the biggest submarines ever built. And when we look at the Typhoon class is the name that NATO gave it, so it's the Western name, but the Typhoon is native Akula, which is the Russian version, and Akula obviously means shark. And so basically the shark submarine can stay underwater for up to 6 months, which, if you're correct in terms of the submarines coming over in September, then September, October, November, December, January, February, March, 6 months, not including September, but September, October, November, December, you get it, 6 months from the end of September to March. And I believe that they can, because it's the only restriction for them is food, as you said, and nuclear submarines can provide their own water and their own air from the seawater around them, and the main restriction, as mentioned, is food. We know that they can just pick up dehydrated flat packs, and they can probably store quite a lot of those. And in the event that they can ration as well. They're military, so they're well practiced at eating just small amounts of food, but food that's packed with proteins and minerals and vitamins, enough to give them energy, keep them alive, not starving. And even submarines that can stay underwater for 25 years. Again, the only restriction for them is food. I don't think they can pack 25 years worth of food, but they can definitely pack a good couple months worth of food before they have to resurface to resupply themselves. Excuse me. And that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to kind of point out today. Just for a quick summary, tank teeth, possibly looking at a March event. June, looking like some sort of Antichrist related event that's related to Gemini. We see the Antichrist coming through the Gemini twins with fire that illuminates this globe, which seems to resemble the description of St. Elmo's fire, and that seems to be their kind of plan when the church ends, and they're trying to do that now. They've been trying to do it for a number of years, and they're just picking up speed on what they're doing. But as I said, this isn't about flesh and blood. This is about the spirits and the wickedness in high places, and they've positioned themselves all over the world in different high-level positions. And the fact is that we need to first wake up, and then once we're awake, we need to stay awake and keep our eyes on the signs that God told us to watch for in the moon, the sun, the stars. We've been shown so many different astrological signs, not just in those three bodies, but asteroids making close approaches more so than they have done before, or at least we're hearing about it more now than we have before. And I just feel like it's God's way of getting the universe to kind of scream at his people who have the ears to listen that, I'm showing you the signs, the time is approaching. I told you that no one will know when Jesus actually returns to, collect his people, the church. But we are clearly told in the Bible that the signs will allow us to recognize the time. And I think that's what we're being shown now. And I think that's why knowledge is going to and fro, like it said it would in the Bible. Knowledge will increase. And there's a lot of things that the Bible has said that I can see reflected in the current time period we're in. So that's the end of my video. You guys have a good morning, good afternoon, good night. My phone's going crazy, but have a good good day and God bless.